Out here in the fields, we're learning what it means to be a superstar. Indianapolis got to feel Effy for the Squared Circle Expo. I learned a lot about where our careers are headed from Matt Cardona. I prepare for the week ahead in Philadelphia, and I will never, ever, ever quit. Trust, learn, feel, breathe. It's Weekend at Effy's, and we're renewing our spirits today. Everybody take a deep breath. It's going to be a long week.
It's going to be a long week.
It's going to be a long week for everyone in different ways. We felt the energy. We're in the retrograde, right? We're retrograded.
Yes, we are.
I had a long weekend. I had a refreshing weekend. Had an eye-opening weekend. And now I prepare. For those of you on the Patreon, you will get this before the rest of Philadelphia happens. For those of you not on the Patreon, I will be speaking from the past, hoping that everything goes according to plan. And if it doesn't, well, then it wasn't the plan anyway.
Yeah.
This weekend, I spent my life in Indiana. You know about Indiana?
I know of one of my favorite humans that lives in Indiana.
Oh, yeah. Are you talking about the Ratty Daddy?
I'm talking about the one and only Ratty Daddy.
Well, you're not going to believe this. I got to spend a lot of time with the Ratty Daddy. And hopefully I get to spend a lot of time with the Ratty Daddy this week. I'm quite looking forward to our time spent in Philadelphia freedom. I'm going there to fight people. Yes, I am. And really, thinking with past WrestleMania weeks, I think I have one of the hardest ones I've ever had and one of the easiest ones I've ever had because I've prepared my schedule in such a way where I'm not overdoing it.
Yeah.
But I'm still overdoing it.
Yeah.
Like what I have planned is overdoing it.
But it's less of the things that you're doing are less overdoing. You just have more things that you're doing.
It's less things quantitatively.
Yes.
But it's more things emotionally.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
It's I'm gonna hit a catwalk instead of
strut, fashion baby.
You know, being attacked by a person pretending to be a cat.
Until the next day. Well, we'll see. But I'm not going to jump too far ahead because I actually had a wonderful time this weekend at the Squared Circle Exposition. That's they call it the Squared Circle Expo, but it's short for the Squared Circle Exposition. And being a part of these, you know, WrestleCons or StarCasts or WrestleCades or Squared Circle Expos, they are some of the most bizarre events to be a part of because everybody you know is there. Everybody. It's not like, oh, your regular friends in a locker room. It's like all the people you know and Victoria and Sabu and RVD and Fonzie and Brian Myers and Matt Cardona and Mojo Rawley and Dolph Ziggler and Sting.
It's not one episode of The Simpsons. It's the poster with every character.
It's the poster with every character on it, and we're all in the same hotel. We're all in the same room.
It's Tony Soprano and Beetlejuice playing poker.
Yes, it is. And the dogs. The dogs are also playing poker. And who?
The Crow.
Yeah, the Crow is there playing poker. Sting is the Crow in this instance.
Heath Ledger has made a recent addition.
Has he?
Yeah. They're incorporating him now.
Oh, no.
Mm-hmm.
That's sad.
Well,
I don't blame Mary-Kate and Ashley anymore.
They're there, too.
Are they?
No one knows why.
Oh, my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is kind of funny to see some of these legends, and I'm not going to name names, but, you know, you'll have someone go up and be like, hey, like, will you sign this jacket? And it's really important to me, and I love you, and I've been a fan of you my whole life. Will you write your name on this fabric? And instead of just charging and doing it, they will try to scheme out as much money as they can for this. And luckily, the economy is not as good as they think. And you get to watch fans go, that's okay, after asking and finding out what some of these old people want to charge to write their name on things. You know? You'd think It's one of the easiest things you can do. Write your name on this for me. Will you write your name on this? This item of importance to me.
There's a little hornet that's
Oh, yeah. Oh, he's going to eat it. I think it might have gotten in. Did it get in?
No.
Something got in.
Something got in?
There's a little flyer behind you. I don't know. Take a look. Maybe I made it up. Maybe it was just a fly. I think we'll be okay. I'm keeping an eye on it. Bebop was going to try to jump out the window again. And we had to stop him. He's really into rabbits right now. What's in right now, Bebop? Rabbits, chipmunks, squirrels. He is also... He doesn't like the chickens. I don't know if you've been outside. The chickens are out there. I thought, oh, well, I better keep Bebop away from the chickens. Bebop will look at the chickens and bark at the chickens. He will not get close to the chickens. I imagine to Bebop, because these are not little chickens. These are like big show chickens.
Yes.
I imagine to someone like Bebop, these look like Godzilla-esque monsters to him. With beaks, and they're pecking, and he's like, what do I do? He's not a big guy. He thinks he's a big guy. He's not a big guy. He's a little guy. He's a little guy.
He's a little guy.
And chickens, I think he thinks they're going to kill him, which I needed to stay that way. I needed to stay where he is scared of chickens, and he's scared of more things. He needs to be a little scared.
Mm-hmm.
He's not scared of much.
The two of them pick up little habits from each other.
Yeah.
And Lucy has this move where she's generally really calm around other dogs.
See, it did. It did. Oh. Bob, hold on. Here, you want me to smack it? See, I knew I had good eyes. Hold up. Hold up. There it is. Oh, it's in the thing. Hold on. Hold on. Yeah! Fuck yeah! You legend! Oh my God. You protector. That was so good. I knew I saw it. I knew I saw it. Oh my God. Oh, that just got me fired up. Holy moly. Listen, I won't kill bees, but I'll kill a wasp, and you just saved my life.
That we don't play with these babies.
Whoa.
We don't play with these babies.
The thing about Bob is, he'll eat bees, right?
Yeah.
And I think he thinks that's a bee. I think that would have been a rough day.
I think that would have been a rough day for the Bob.
I think the wasp would have been not exactly what he expected.
Good eye, because I didn't think it got in.
I saw it get in, and I thought, maybe I'm just crazy. Maybe it was another fly. It's here. But guess what? That was the last decision it ever made. Mm-hmm. You do not fuck around in our house, you fucking wasps. Wasps.
We, yeah. In Kenya, that shit is bad fucking news around dogs.
Yeah.
Like really bad news.
Are they bigger there?
We have more of like the killer variety.
That's what I've heard. I didn't want to use stereotypes, but I heard that there are African killer bees and wasps.
But it was legitimately like our vet lost a lot of dogs at one time, and that just kind of stuck in my brain as like there's shit, you have to keep the babies safe and everything. And we had stuff showing up in the yard all the time. Like one of the first things that they teach you is how to kill snakes, because you're going to have to kill a snake at some point.
One time we were in the backyard and I had Cranberry just out there. This was in Florida still. And I was just letting her go. And I came outside and she was facing off with a snake. And the snake was up off the ground and was like doing the thing. Mm-hmm. And she was like trying to kill the snake. And I stepped in and I shoveled the fuck out of that snake. I was like, baby, you can't do this. Mm-mm. Cranberry's crazy. She's chill now. She's like chill old lady. But like she's the huntress for a while. Like when AJ called me and said she committed one of the deadly sins, I was like, gluttony? And he's like, no, murder. Oh, she killed a squirrel. And she not only killed the squirrel, but then threw it up in the air and caught it again and shook it out. Just like real ferocious shit. And I was fired up, and he was like, we have to bathe her again. She'll never be clean from the murder. So yeah, I'm raising a pack of hunters, but I'm glad that the greatest hunter of all, Petár, has stepped in and killed the wasp. I hope that the GoPro footage of that is as good as I think it is.
Yeah.
We're probably going to have to edit a little bit, or maybe not. Maybe it just works.
Well, it'll at least stay completely in the video version. And maybe for audio listeners, not quite as fun. But.
Oh, my God. Went to Indianapolis, and let me just say this: to be in one place for multiple days is a blessing, and I get to do it again next week. And luckily, everything has worked out to where
Bebop looks upset that someone else did the killing.
he's down here on the floor now. You can come back up, buddy. Come on. It's okay now. You're safe. He's really concerned.
I also shoved him out of the way. So
I mean, yeah, but that's what you do, Bobby, it's okay. Come over here. You've got a protector for you. Be happy you have a protector. But I landed in Indianapolis, and, the first person who picked me up, he only lives like an hour from Indianapolis in Indiana, was Cole Radrick. And he said, listen, we've got to go do this breakfast spot. And I said, okay. He's like, it's like the boys' breakfast spot. I was like, okay. And this place is called Man's Breakfast. And it should have been, I joked with the waitress. I said, y'all should call it Woman's Breakfast because all the girls are running this place. And it's like an old, I don't want to say a diner, but it's like an old breakfast spot. And all the women running it are like when a woman's she could smoke a cigarette and drink a Miller Lite, but she's still hot and she's 45. Mm-hmm. All the waitresses were that woman. And I ordered just a pretty basic platter. This is where I knew I was in the right place. It said, add an extra egg, 70 cents. Right? I was going, oh my gosh, the Indiana economy. If you had told me, at a regular breakfast spot, extra eggs are $2.50, I'd be like, yeah, add 2 eggs. But this was extra eggs are 70 cents. And that is an absurd price. That's almost retail price for an egg, And they're just saying, if you give me some quarters, I'll give you some eggs.
That's great.
So I order the Man's Breakfast, which comes with eggs, hash browns, bacon, and then you get to choose if you want pancakes or French toast, or what I got, which is a half order of biscuits and gravy. A half order, Petár. This is 2 biscuits split in half on a plate, covered with roughly a quart of gravy with the meat in it. And I'm looking at this meal, and I'm looking at what me and Cole Radrick ate, and there was no way we were going to eat all this food. I felt bad. I felt horrible. And we ate, and we chatted, and we ate, and we chatted. And then we went to check out, and I got a coffee, and I got this huge platter and all this stuff, and they were like $12. And I was like, oh my God. And I said, if I don't tip enough to make this meal $20, I'm going to feel bad all day long. I'm going to feel horrible. And so I tipped, and she's like, you tipping that much? And I was like, yes, I am. Because y'all need to raise your prices. Yeah. I'm like the guy from the city who comes in and he's like, you could charge double what you're charging here for your breakfast. And I said, load it up. Let's go. And here we are, full of Man's Breakfast still. I haven't eaten since then. Yeah. Oh, just kidding. I did.
But it's also I think of my equivalency spot here in Atlanta.
Yeah.
There, you get robbed over there. I'm sorry. Have you been to Homegrown?
No.
Homegrown is top 5 breakfasts for me. But every time you go in and you go, Jesus fucking Christ, is this really that much?
This was Jesus fucking Christ. Y'all got to charge me more. I feel really bad that I'm even here right now. It was fantastic. It was a great way to start the day. But, I'm always a little nervous because we're there pretty early still. And we got to the hotel. And this is where I was like, already, this is out of control. Because I walk in, and who's there but Miro? And he's an AEW superstar. Used to be at WWE. And he's just sitting in the lobby. And then Tommy Rich comes up to me. He says, what's up, baby? Tommy Rich. Now, I've known Tommy Rich since early days of wrestling. Mm-hmm. But he's been wrestling since maybe the late 70s, I want to say.
Shit.
And I remember when he got his new teeth. And everybody was like, Tommy, let me see them teeth. And he would just chomp them at you. And I saw Tommy, and I was like, Tommy, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm doing the convention. And it turns out he ended up being in a match with Mance Warner later that weekend. Oh, shit. So that was pretty incredible. I told him, you got to beat his ass. Beat his ass for me. But we got in early, and luckily, the homeboys at Cole TV, they're not run by Cole Radrick, but Cole Radrick was with them for part of the weekend. They should be run
by Cole Radrick.
I know. It's like one of those things where you're like, well, you got to have Cole Radrick at your table. And they did. they got the hotel worked out for us early, and they said, hey, the convention doesn't start today until 4. And I was like, what? Like, it's maybe 11. So I was like, so we just have time? They're like, yeah, you got time. My neck is sore. So we got to go chill at the hotel, relax, lean back, have a good time, hang out. Allie got her flight messed up. I don't think it was her fault. I think there was someone in front of her that was an idiot that was slowing everything down that slowed her. But I will say, baby, she's going to kill me if she hears this. Get to the airport a little earlier. This happens to you sometimes. Just try to be there.
Mercury retrograde season. We should all be getting to the airport a little bit earlier anyways.
Yes. And let me tell you this. What did I do this week to make my life even easier? I got Delta flights in and out of town that were at times that were very convenient. So I'm flying out at like noon tomorrow, and I'm flying back at 7 p.m. Sunday. I'm getting out of town in the middle of mania while no one's at the airport.
Hell yeah.
I love it. I live for it. I will do my appearance that morning at WrestleCon, and I will leave town when it is time. And I will be on a Delta flight, and it will be so comfortable, and I will not suffer on Spirit for anyone, and I will have so much fun. And God bless me for thinking ahead of, you're going to be stressed out this week. Take away the stress.
Yeah.
I have to pack my bags differently when I fly Spirit because I get a carry-on and a checked with my gold program, but I don't want to have to carry my jacket through security with my carry-on. So I put my jacket in the merch box, I put my merch in the jacket thing, and then I have to swap it when I land. But with Delta, I get 2 free check bags because I'm platinum. So I just put them all in the bag and I send it, and it's great. And they have this digital ID thing now. Now, usually I have clear and pre-check. In Atlanta, it's still a long line to do clear and pre-check. But the digital face line for Delta, when you're Delta, you just walk up and they scan your face and then you're on. And that line is never long. It's incredible.
What you don't know is that when you walk up and scan your face, the cartoon scan is also happening, and you enter
the Congress,
that reality as well.
Listen to the minisode. We talk about Robin Wright. You're going to get scanned. Your emotions are going to get scanned. That one speech from Harvey Keitel kind of defines the whole film, where she makes her.
It's perfect that it's Keitel.
Oh my God, it's so good. It's so good. Harvey Keitel, ladies and gentlemen, he's good at acting. Who would have guessed? Who would have known? We get ready, and the first day, I'm not doing the signing with Cold TV, so me and Allie are separated, but I'm doing the signing with Black Label Pro, so I'm over at their table, and, we're a little hidden in the corner. I do fine. I see people. I sign some stuff. But what really was beautiful was getting to spend the day signing next to Mason Mansour, because not only have they become wonderful friends to have in the wrestling business, I was getting to wrestle them again the next night. And so, or that night, I was wrestling them that night with Dan the Dad as my tag partner, not Allie as my tag partner. So I got to spend the day kind of like sharing fun stories and harassing them a little bit and making fun of the fact that their table is next to the bathroom. It's like, oh, what a table they've chosen for you next to the shitter. But they seem to be doing good. They had a great time. Mason Mansour, Maximum Male Models. They're always down for fun. And we had a really fun time later that night. Now, the conference starting at 4, I was like, great, awesome. But then I found out the show I was agreeing to wrestle on started at 9. And I don't like that. And so I went and I started to politic. I said, Mace Mansour, we got to politic. They said, for what? I said, to go on first. And so we start politicking. We start trying to convince the promoter, let us on first. Who politicked harder than us? Cardona. Cardona and Nick Nemeth got the first opening spot. But what did that leave us? The second spot. So I politicked and it worked, but I cannot out-politic Matt Cardona.
No.
And I want to talk about, side note, the fascination of Matt Cardona. Okay. The first night he was there, he wrestled Nick Nemeth. They had a great match. He was there signing, and then the next day he was going to be signing, and then something shifted. They said, Broski's going to leave. Broski's not going to complete his signing on Saturday. Broski's not going to be there all day Saturday. And me and Allie were worried for a minute. What's up with Broski? Is he sick? Is something wrong? He wasn't telling us what was going on. Is everything okay? You know, I talked to Brian Myers. Said, is Broski okay? He goes, yeah, he'll be okay. And then
He didn't get a case of Jimmy Lloyd's IBS.
he did not. And God bless Jimmy Lloyd's kayfabe IBS getting me on the Mario ride. What a legendary moment. Well, it turns out he was keeping it quiet because he was going to be appearing on AEW Collision in a dream match for him against Edge.
So when we're saying dream match, we mean as in like lucid dream match, as in...
Well, you got to remember, and you may not know this, when Matt Cardona and Brian Myers came into the WWE, they were portraying two characters that were fans of Edge called Edgeheads. And so they were Edge's like backup dudes who would come out with him and be Edgeheads. And that was their start in the wrestling business of the TV professional wrestling. They had been independent
what are you
before then.
talking about? Of course I remember.
Of course you remember when they were the Edgeheads, don't you? And so this is someone who Matt Cardona has looked up to in his career, and now they're in very different stages of their career, where Edge has now gone to AEW after his WWE career, and Matt Cardona has gone everywhere after his WWE career. And last week, he was on TNA Impact doing a spot with Steph DeLander, who's going to be fighting for the KO titles. He recently was on MLW. He was recently on NWA. He is constantly on GCW. Are you seeing what I'm getting at here? Matt Cardona is everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And now Matt Cardona, after a long stay away, returns because he did like 2 dates with AEW. One of the funniest parts, no offense to Cody, one of the funniest parts was they brought him in as like Cody's bro, and then said, will you wear a Nightmare Factory jacket? And they're really good friends, Cardona and Cody. And he's like, I'm not wearing that stupid jacket. And then they couldn't work a deal out, and he just left. Like, he was just like not even concerned. Like, I don't need the job. I'm going to go do whatever I want. And so he gets to come back to AEW unannounced to have a sick match with his former mentor Edge, and he's been on Twitter saying, I'd really like this match. This is a match that's a dream for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to see it happen. And so in the middle of this con, he leaves, he goes to AEW, he gets his dream match, he doesn't sign a contract, he appears on another television show, he leaves paid. That's what I like about Cardona. You pay him and he leaves. He doesn't wait around, he doesn't ask, he's not there for the clout, he's not there to, accomplish his dreams. And I think the bigger point I want to make is this. There are a lot of guys out there who are hoping and wishing and praying to get on these TV shows and be offered a contract so that they can be a part of the team, so that they can continue raising their stock and raising their profile and doing more. And Cardona is doing exactly what a wrestler should actually do, which is, if you want me there, you can have me there. You can pay me to be there, and I will be there for when you pay me to be there. You do not own anything else I do.
Mm-hmm.
You will not tell me where I go.
Mm-hmm.
I am so valuable that I will go where I want, and you do not have enough money to lock me down to anything because I am showing up everywhere, and the rules you have set into place are for people who follow rules.
Mm-hmm.
But for those of us that are in charge, other people don't get to set rules for us. We're in charge. We set the rules, and the rules are cash up front, I'll do my job, and I'll see you later. And so I'm hoping that everyone's starting to pay a little more attention.
I mean, it is very cool because he's going, no, I am going to have my cake and eat it too. I will get the thing that is a personal victory for me, but motherfucker, you're going to pay me to be there and I owe you nothing after that point. Give me what I want, otherwise I'm not going to participate in the thing. So it is genius to be like, because it's almost like the Hollywood one for them, one for me, and he's combined the two while giving everyone the middle finger as he walks out the door with the big bag
And they're
of
like,
money.
yeah, he's a funny guy. And he's like, yeah, fuck you. And they're like, we love it. No, and let me be clear here. Not everyone can be Matt Cardona, right? This is something that he has earned. There are people that pay to see Cardona. There are people that I'd love to see the numbers for the Collision this week to see how many people tuned in as soon as he came out, because I saw there were people going, well, this is a huge match. Why wouldn't you advertise it? Why would you just throw it up on Collision? And I think part of it is They want to see how many people are going to just change the channel and tune in once that social media goes out. Once people start talking about Cardona just appeared on Collision. We didn't know what was happening with him. He was just at this con. Cardona's here against Edge. This is huge. They want to see how big of a shift there is. And I know Cardona wants to see it too. And so this is not something every wrestler can pull off right now. This is not something every wrestler has the clout to do. But what I'm saying is this is the dream I've had for years, which is you create a value for yourself to where you go over and above all the rules they hope you follow. You finally say out loud, the people who are in charge are the people who are good enough at this to draw money, draw tickets, draw interest, draw discussion to the product. And if you can't draw enough interest or discussion to a product, then you don't have this power. But once you have the power to say, I'm the one that brings in people, I'm the one that brings in viewers, I'm the one that does this job well enough that you will listen to me before I listen to you. I know right now they are participating in doing this with Cardona, but they are hoping nobody's saying out loud that we are back in control. Now, we are in control as long as we get over and we are bringing people to the show and we are doing the job we're supposed to do. Not all of you can do that. Sorry. Not all of you are that good. Not all of you are, a lot of you are competent at professional wrestling and no one will ever give a shit about anything you actually do. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be mean. You are not in that position. For you, you should pray and hope that they will sign you to a long-term contract because when you show up and you don't deliver, you will still get paid. But for those of us that can deliver, for those of us that can get things accomplished, for those of us that constantly have interest in what we are doing, and I'm including myself in this, I don't care. Call me an ego head. I don't care. Call me an edgehead. I don't care. For those of us that are constantly creating and garnering interest and bringing in fans and having people want to see what we do, we are in control. If you do not bump, if you are a corporate person, if you are a booker that doesn't wrestle, if you are an agent who was never good enough at wrestling to retire and now you have to tell other people how to have their matches, if you were all of these things, that's great. But you don't get to tell those of us that are very good at this, and this being what the actual job is, which is drawing money and interest and excitement to the product, what to do anymore. And we don't have to play by your rules to be seen, to be heard, to be distributed. We have the distribution. You want our distribution. You used to have to get their rub to get people to see you. And now they are going, if anybody's going to see our company, we need their rub. And there are a few guys out there and girls who are giving that rub, but they are keeping control of what they're doing. And to see Matt Cardona pull this off this weekend was so enlightening and so wonderful because it validated a lot of what I've been thinking and yelling about. And guess what? I don't have to yell about it anymore. The proof is in the pudding. And now we just have to show up and keep showing out and keep giving people what we think we need to give them, which is the excitement to return to us, to come see us, to pay when we are announced on shows, to change the channel when we show up on their TV shows, and not wait for them to say, all right, well, you're up next. You're in the batter box. We're going to give you a shot. No. I'm going to give you a shot. I'm going to give you a chance to put me in your product. I'm going to give you a chance to make a little money off of Effy. I'm going to give you a chance to see if putting me on your platform increases your platform, because my platform is fine. I don't need to be in your platform. You need us. And that's the mindset going forward. And guess what? I don't have to say it anymore. I just said it here. Now you know how I feel. And now I'm just going to go be a superstar. I'm just going to wave and I'm going to take on the opportunities I want to take on. There's been a lot of rumor and innuendo lately about certain companies opening the floodgates to allowing more independent action, and not the ones you think, and not your newer companies that were so indie friendly for so long, but the companies that swore away the indies. So we're just going to hire college athletes and teach them how to do this, that are opening their doors to a little more crossover, that are seeing that outside of their huge industry, I love you, outside of their huge industry, that things are happening in wrestling that are making money without their say. And I am opening myself, oh my God, to many more opportunities forever and ever. I have shunned the concept of Effy being on television because I don't want to give up control of Effy. I don't need your distribution. I can put out a tweet with 1 million views. I can have a show sell out just announcing it. I can trend worldwide. I'm going to trend worldwide this weekend for my big gay brunch without any television program ever being a part of it. And guess what? Now I've accomplished what I think I want to accomplish. And if you'd like to come find out what Effy can do for you, the doors are open, baby. Because I know, and I needed to know, that I could do this without anybody's assistance. And now that it is done, I'm going to start stacking up gold bars. And if you've got gold bars, well, Effy's got a song and dance for you that you need, don't you? Wouldn't you like to have that song and dance be a part of your program? Wouldn't that be nice? Now, I want to say this too. Got in a little fight on Easter, okay?
Uh-huh.
I was bragging about Matt Cardona. And I said, it's really wonderful to see, blah, 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 what I just said. Matt Cardona controlling his own career. Matt Cardona showing up where he wants. Matt Cardona calling his own shots. And someone said, and I really should have just left it alone. It doesn't matter. But everybody's got to hear have their voice heard. They all want to yell. And he said, it doesn't change anything. It doesn't change how TK books. It doesn't change how anything's happening. And this is a person who's not in the wrestling industry. This is a person who's not within our ranks. I am a wrestler talking about a wrestler in an industry of wrestling saying, this is great for wrestling. It's great for wrestlers. And usually I'll just let it slide. Like I told you, Saturday night, the floodgates opened for me. I did a little check-in with the demon. Mm-hmm. I felt wonderful. I felt at peace. I feel joy. And I still feel that. So don't get it twisted. I'm not negatively holding any of this. But I kind of said back, listen, buddy, this is wrestlers talking about wrestlers in wrestling. Sit down. And this fool had the nerve to say, that normal you're a loser act may work. And this is what got me. But you couldn't even write a paragraph to help your talent get paid. And I went, what is this motherfucker talking about? Hang on. You're accusing me of trying to cost my talent money? What are we talking about here? So I went back into the DMs, right? Because I'm gonna go for the receipts. And it turns out that right after Big Gay Brunch Chicago, which was right after Australia, which was right before England, which was right before Germany, which was right before Japan, which was right before Big Gay Brunch in Tampa, this person had reached out and said, do you want me to help you make a pitch deck to try to get more sponsorships for the Big Gay Brunch? And my response was, that'd be wonderful if that's something you could help me with. I would be happy to pay you to create a pitch deck. And then they sort of said, well, send me a few paragraphs so I can know what to put in the pitch deck. And to me, you just said, I want to do something for you. Can you do it real quick? Why would I be writing up the paragraphs for a pitch deck if you're making the pitch deck? When, Peter, if you Google Effy's Big Gay Brunch, not only have I done hours and hours and hours of audio interviews, of magazine interviews, of front page magazine interviews in the Dallas Voice, of continual reviews of the show, of me discussing what the show should be, what the show tries to represent, what we are trying to accomplish in the 9 Big Gay Brunches I've done so far, in the 10, if you include the Big Gay Thanksgiving, in the 11, if you include the Big Gay Brunch UK, international. And you're saying that this thing that you're so good at, writing pitch decks to help me get sponsors, you just couldn't accomplish it unless I wrote a paragraph. So, of course, I left this person on red. Because if you offer to do work for me, which happens a lot, people will hit my DMs and say, let me help you out. And then they go, here's what I need to help you out. And I go, this isn't helping, right? Now, granted, are there more things I could be doing with the brunch? Yeah, probably. But where I am at currently is there are more things everybody in wrestling could be doing instead of looking at Effy to do more. And I'm not going to say it in a rude way, but I am going to say I'm very, very excited for Big Gay Brunch Philly. And I'm very, very excited for after because there's going to be a bit of a break before there's another big gay brunch. I've decided this. It's not gone forever, but I am pulling back because for once in my fucking life, I'm going to be a little selfish, Peter, and I'm going to focus on my career, and I'm going to focus on my matches, and I'm going to be a main event superstar, and I'm going to continue traveling the globe and winning belts and not worrying about booking everybody else for once. And so when you're saying, I need to be putting more work, I need to be doing more, I'm costing my talent money. Yeah, bro, I'm going to fucking roast you. I'm going to go scorched earth on you, because if that opinion is out there, then I can easily back up with facts that you're a bullshitter with 93 followers who then, after I called you out, said, well, I'm a millionaire and I could have gotten you everything. And now you're just being rude and a hurt dog barks. These are things they were saying to me in the DMs. And before they blocked me yesterday, they made another point. And luckily, a lot of wrestling promoters were messaging me, and not just about them saying, I get all these kind of corny things all the time. People want to help. And then they go, well, can you do all this for me? And you go, well, that's not helping. And I go, I'm glad we can agree on this. Mm-hmm. And they said, I just want you to know how scummy it is to put out private conversations between people. And let me be clear. I want you to know how scummy it is to think you can say that I, who have selflessly put on shows where I have lost my own matches, where I have not been in the main event before, where I have done one move in a main event to make sure everybody else looks fantastic, where I've continually earned less and less of a paycheck because I am making sure everyone is paid a fair rate, that their flights are taken care of, that their hotels are taken care of, that no one is suffering if they're going to be a part of a big gay brunch. For you to accuse me of trying to cost my talent money in any sense, and you say it's scummy for me to privately share our information, baby, you're a fool if you think I'm not coming with receipts. If anyone wants to step up and make a fucking pitch deck for Big Gay Brunch, you can Google Big Gay Brunch, and in my own words, there are 12 pages, not 12 articles, 12 pages of reviews and interviews and information and lots of press releases on what Big Gay Brunch is about. I've done press releases on the last 4. You can find them. The paragraphs are already there, and you need me to retype it for you. If anyone would like to actually make a pitch deck, there is media and videos and pictures and information over and over and over again. And if you want more words than just mine, there's other superstars interviewed over and over and over again. People talking about how historic this is. Outsports.com with articles about how historic this is. And you need my help to do it? No. I bet there's hundreds of you out there that would do a very, very good pitch deck, and you would bring it to me, and I would say, this is incredible. Thank you for understanding my vision that I've presented everywhere in every which way, and giving it to me in a way where you can actually do some help. But yeah, I'm going to share our private messages when you try to accuse me of being a piece of shit.
It's just crazy because literally if you would have had AI write something, it would have been more work than what they did.
Someone AI'd under it. They said, tell me about Effy's Big Gay Brunch in the AI. And it had 4 full paragraphs of information that was correct.
I'm sure.
And you need little old Effy in between global world tours and his own events over and over and going to Japan and wrestling every weekend. You need me to do it for you, but you're so masterful and you're a millionaire and you're so incredible that I held everyone back from getting this done. Well, I don't know what you want to present. Well, then you haven't looked. Effy's Big Gay Brunch 9, Philadelphia, sold out without a single match announced. Sold out because people trust the vision of what I'm putting forward. Sold out because people know we are going to put up-and-coming superstars on the rise. We're going to have weird gay booking. We are going to have energy and mimosas, and it's going to feel like the biggest gay party you've ever been to. And if you can't figure that out, then you're not the person to be writing a pitch deck. And if you think I can't get in touch with sponsors, like you're some sort of Jedi Obi-Wan, I'm the only one that can reach them, you're a fool. I'm Effy, okay? I don't like having to tell people that. I don't like having to pretend that you know, but I don't know you know, because y'all know. I'm a global goddamn icon. I'm a Netflix star. I'm an iconoclast. And you think you're helping me out. And you want to make it look like it's my fault? Come kiss the fucking ring and ask for forgiveness because you have proven yourself to be an absolute loser. And guess what? I don't need a fucking pitch deck right now, because when Big Gay Brunch returns, it will be the biggest news the world has ever seen. And guess what? I ain't got to worry about it. I'm going to do my shows this week. I'm going to beat Mance Warner in an I Quit match. I'm going to beat Marcus Mathers for the intergender belt. I'm going to go to Wale Mania. I'm going to be in a fashion show. I'm going to compete at Progress Wrestling again with my sister, Allison Catch. I'm going to go to WrestleCon and make a lot of money meeting my fans, selling my action figures, of which I have 4. But oh no, I couldn't write a paragraph. Oh no, he couldn't write a paragraph. Okay.
It's just like, I don't know. To come in and be like, hey, I would love to help you out. And then waste all of your fucking time.
Well, and then be mad months and months later to where I have to go back into the DMs and go, oh yeah, this was in September you were messaging me. And there's a reason you got left on red. And you got sad because I said, hey, stay out of our business. You're incorrect. I said something that was true about Matt Cardona, one of my coworkers. And you said, that's not true. I'm not in wrestling, but that's not true. And I said, sit down, buddy. And you got so hurt. You wanted to make me look like a villain to the people that I book. You fool. You absolute fool. And guess what? You blocked me, so you'll never hear this. I think that's beautiful. But the rest of the world can hear exactly how I feel. I would love additional assistance. I would love people to help. But when the help you are giving me requires additional effort from me, I assure you, it is not help. If it's going to get more done, that's incredible. But I am telling you, I have done enough. I am doing enough. And I am very much satisfied with the fact that, yes, if I put in another 100 hours a week, I could be doing even more. But for who and for what? My bills are paid. I sleep soundly. I am happy. And this year, I've spent more time saying, oh, it's Wednesday. I don't have to do anything. And I'm okay with that. Oh, I put this off until another day. Oh, I didn't ship the order until Friday. Guess what? If it is going to keep me healthy, if it is going to keep me from getting angered about things or being frustrated with as much blessings that are around me, then wonderful. That's what I have to do. I have to protect me. Yeah. When I tell you Effy is fine, I have to make sure Effy is fine. I'm not lying to you. But I also have to take steps in my life to not overdo myself. And you've seen me when I've overdone myself. It's exhausting. And you go, hey, buddy, chill. And guess what? Hey, buddy, I'm chilling. I'm doing great. And I'm very excited for the next few months. Very excited for the summer. I'm very excited for this weekend. But let this be a warning to everyone. Your help is not help if I have to help. Sorry, I just had to get that off my chest. I needed you to know it. Now, Friday night, that match with MXM was so much fun. I rarely get to team with Dan the Dad. And Black Label Pro is a really fun promotion. The main event of this show was a battle royal. And someone messaged me on Instagram and said, all the members of the battle royal, and said, was it a 29 or 30 person battle royal? And I just wrote, not my match, not my problem, buddy. Like, I don't know. We were match 2. We had an excellent time. I got out of there pretty early. I got to spend some time with a lot of people I don't always see. And I just want to say that if you were going up to Alley Catch, which I heard many of you were, and saying, is Effy actually fine? She's not going to be the one to tell you. And I need people to stop second guessing me, because I'm telling you I am fine. And I may look tired. I may look disheveled. I may have a tattoo on the side of my head. I may have screwdriver wounds in my forehead that makes my skin not look great right now. I may have parts of my hair missing. I may have staple marks in my head. I may be a little out of it. I promise you I'm fine.
You may have your podcast co-host making out-of-pocket comments about your
Yeah, we were about to start recording, and Peter goes, you wanna put a hat or a beanie on? And I was like, huh? And I'm not going to say who you referenced, but yes, folks, I know
it's not the kindest.
I've lost a lot of hair recently, and it's not my fault. I was fine with the hair getting pulled out of the side of my head, but this situation up front where there, I'm already I'm working on it, okay, and to lose that much of my bangs, it doesn't help. All right. It doesn't help the situation. I don't need any comments on that. I'm doing my best. The hair's not going to last much longer. I get it. Okay. And yeah, getting it drilled out is not good. But Effy is fine. that night we hung out, we chilled, very restfully. I think a lot of people went out and, saw the town. But for me, being in those cons all day with that much noise, once again, if Effy's going to be fine, guess what? I'm going to have to take a little rest. And I went to the silence. I hung out with Allie, got a little food, got a little chill, got a little rest, got a little sleep. And the next day was going to be a big day because I didn't have to bump, I didn't have to wrestle, but we were signing and meeting fans all day long at the Cole TV table. Me, Allie, and Cole Radrick. And in between that, I also did some interviews with them. So we got down there early. I, of course, took care of Sister and made sure we had coffees delivered first thing in the morning. And it was funny. I ran into my good friend Amy DeMoss, who you may know as Lita. And we were talking about how, we felt a little bad making them bring our food to the room. But even in disguises, she's like, I put on a disguise and I walked through the hall at one point and I just got stopped 30 times because everybody's in the same hotel. And I said, I did the same thing. I went down to get the coffee that morning and I put on sunglasses and a hoodie and I didn't put shoes on, which was probably a mistake. And I opened the door and people are already lined up to see Sting. And they start going, Effy, Effy. And I just went out loud. I wasn't even saying this to them, but I was saying to myself, I went, I think I fucked up. But I went down and got the coffee. I made them bring the food up to the room later that night. But we were joking with each other that it's not that we don't want to see you, but for us to get down and get our food and just be like regular meat people for a second, we just need to be in disguise and hide our things and hide away. And I said, I had texted her when I got there because I saw she was on the con, and I said, Amy, I hope I see you this weekend. And she goes, let's meet up when it's not this weekend. Let's hang out on a normal weekday when we're not having to be this version of ourselves. And I said, actually, great idea. So hopefully, and I hope you'll join us if we do it again. We went river tubing last year.
Oh, I love going tubing.
We took those tubes out. I think we do another river tubing trip soon. But she did tell me she just got a hot tub, so we might have to go check out the hot tub at the Atlanta home of the lovely Amy. And Amy also good friends with Dark Chic and has done a few appearances at Hood Slam. So we're all connected. We're all friends. It's lovely to meet your idols, and they're cool as fuck. And actually are just normal people who want to go tubing on the river. That day was really incredible. We met a ton of people. And I just want to say, I never have high expectations for these cons because I see how many superstars are there. You don't know who Teddy Long is, but Teddy Long was there. And I've known Teddy Long for a few years, but Teddy Long is he's a referee. He's a manager. He's one of the top, GMs that ever ran SmackDown. He's famous for saying, tonight you got to go one-on-one with The Undertaker. Tonight you're going to have a tag team match playa. And he's one of the most entertaining figures that wrestling's ever had. And I've gotten to meet him a few times throughout my Georgia wrestling. And I went and I said, hey, Teddy, how's it going? And he said, Effy, brother, how are you doing? And I said, oh, my God, Teddy remembers me. Now, here's a Teddy Long story. This is one of my favorites. Teddy's a very honest guy. I did a show in a middle school one time, and I was cutting a promo earlier in the evening for the match. And I came to the back, and he goes, was that you talking? And I said, yes, Teddy. He said, man, that was a great promo. Really good work. I said, thank you, Teddy. And then I went out and had the match later, and I came to the back, and Teddy was smoking a blunt in the middle school because Teddy likes to smoke blunts. And I just love that Teddy knows he can smoke wherever he wants. Nobody's saying anything. And he goes, that was you in the match? And I said, yeah, Teddy. And he goes, this is one of the worst matches I've ever seen in my life. And I said, man, you gave me one of the best compliments and one of the worst compliments I've ever gotten within the span of 2 hours. This is awesome. But he remembered me, and we checked in, and, he's doing great, and we're there. But the point I'm getting at is, there are so many superstars here. I got to see Rob Van Dam and Sabu. It's so crazy. I watch these guys growing up, and they're like, what's up, Effy? I'm like, what's up, Rob Van Dam? And Sabu, what's up? Sabu, the one who convinced me to do the barbed wire match with Jimmy Lloyd. I regret it. But also, he's also a master of barbed wire. How are you going to say no to Sabu? When you choose to still spend money with Effy and Allie and Bussy and Cole and us over there, and, we're lowly indie stars or whatever we may be, it is awesome because I know there are so many other places in those conventions you could be spending money. There's so many superstars charging more than us that could have already taken your money, and still we had people all day long lined up, ready to meet us, ready to get signed by us, ready to buy the action figures, ready to hang out, and it's so awesome and rewarding. But the best person who came up to us was a lovely lady who was actually working at the convention. and she said, "Oh, I want to get a picture with you," and she paid, and I didn't realize she'd worked there, and she said, "Yeah, I'm going over to work Sting's line. If you guys want to come meet Sting, let me know." And I went, "What?" She's like, "Yeah, I'll get you in." And now we have these badges that say superstar, but to me, it's like a little silly. Everybody has staff badges, attendee badges, superstar badges, gold. The night before, I was being a little bit of a dick. A guy came up to my table and he said, "Is this where we confirm our tickets for the show?" And I said, "This says superstar. I don't sell tickets. I sell tickets. Go over there." I was real weird about it, and I was in a mood. But also, I'm not this ticket confirmation guy. Look at me. There's pictures of me in front of you with my name on them. I'm not the guy that confirms your tickets, brother. But it is a little bit of a joke to be wearing your superstar tag, to me personally.
It's the only thing that I can closely line it up to is being photographer at a wedding and someone coming up and asking me about drinks or the bathroom or something. And I go, "Do you see the fucking camera around my neck? Do you think I know anything about the snacks here?"
I'm actually trying not to take pictures of the bathroom. That's one of the goals. They said, don't take pictures of people in the bathroom if you want to keep your job. Well, she told me this, and Allie and Cole didn't really hear it. And so I waited a few minutes because I didn't, she said she was going to be over there in a little bit. And I said, "Allie, Cole, y'all want to go meet Sting?" And they said, "Are you kidding?" I said, "No." I said, "They told us we can just roll up and meet Sting if we want." They're like, "What?" So we went and we got to the line, and I felt bad because this line had been going for hours. And I walked to the front, and they said, no problem. Come on in. We've got Sting in a private room. And this is like, I've been watching Sting my whole life. And I don't want to be too dramatic, but I was in a hotel room recently with a lot of my friends, and we were talking, as we do. And I said, it's really hard that these people you look up to growing up, most of them end up being pieces of shit. And I could get more detailed about what type of pieces of shit they are. There's different types of pieces of shit. But a lot of these old superstars are not good people. Not people you want to bring your kids around, really. But Sting is not like that. Because Sting has always been good-hearted. And he's always been kind. And he's always worked very hard. And he has a family. And he's raised his children. And he's done everything the right way. And this is very rare in the world of wrestling to see. And so Sting is someone I will happily go meet. And we got inside there. And when I tell you, we all immediately became 10-year-olds again. And we're just like, oh my gosh, we're meeting Sting. Now, I wasn't trying to make a political statement. Sting is a Christian man. I'm not going to judge his beliefs. But I was wearing my Wrestling is Gay tie-dye shirt. And we got up to the front. And we got in the picture. And listen, Sting doesn't have to know who we are. Sting knows all our friends. Sting knows, has worked at AEW for the past few years and has worked with a lot of guys that I know very well. And they have wonderful things to say about Sting and his work ethic and what he does. And I love that. I don't need Sting to know who Effy is. But we got up there and we got our picture with Sting, with the Stinger. And I got to shake his hand. And I said, Sting, I really appreciate that you are someone who I can look to as someone who is an actual good person in this business, and it makes it easier to want to stay a professional wrestler. And he said, thank you. And that's all we said, but I needed to say it. And that picture of us smiling, me, Cole, and Allie are smiling cheese balls full mode. And the new Crow movie comes out on my birthday, June 7th, starring Bill Skarsgård. And Sting has now retired, but Sting did become the Crow after the Crow movie came out. But even before that, Sting was America Sting. Sting was RoboCop Sting. Sting was multicolor Sting. But Sting, when he became the Crow Sting, was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. And for 2 years, he sat in the rafters and he watched. And he waited for the NWO. And he would come down from the rafters with the bat and he would beat up all of the NWO. And it was the coolest thing ever. See a dude who was doing good, but was also hiding in the rafters like a real crow. And the lights would go out and there would be Sting up there watching them, waiting to strike. And it was the craziest thing to see as a kid. And now you're here with the man called Sting, and you're getting to actually be just a fan for a minute and be with Sting. It is the coolest thing I've ever been a part of. What an aura.
I love this.
It's incredible.
This is fantastic.
I get to be a fan again.
That's so cool.
It's easy sometimes, I think, to get a little bit cynical in wrestling.
Yeah.
You meet all
just
these people, you're around all these people.
Life makes you cynical.
And I walked out and they said, "How was it?" And I said, "I've never smoked crack, but I bet that was better." Just the rush of energy, the surge of just positivity in my soul. I like walked out and I was just like, Sting. I felt it. It was incredible. It got me fired up for the whole rest of the day. What a magical moment to be a part of. And thank you to Sting for being a hero. I also saw Honky Tonk Man. He kept giving me eyes because he knows I saw him eat all those pudding cups one time at WrestleCon. And I tell everybody about it. I watched Honky Tonk Man eat 6 pudding cups in a row, sitting at WrestleCon. And he would keep eating the pudding. And someone would say, "I'd like to get a picture with you." And he'd go, $80. And they say, "Huh?" And he'd just keep eating pudding. So there's Sting and there's Honky Tonk Man. Which one are you going to be? Okay. What a time. We got to meet everybody. Cole TV people brought us, Taco Bell, took care of us all day. I also got interviewed by a 7-year-old girl. I think I scared the shit out of her. Ruby Riot, I think it was her name. Maybe I'm Ruby. No. Either way, she likes Ruby Riot, Ruby Soho, Ruby from AEW, but her name was Ruby something else. I don't remember her name, but she was asking me questions. And one of the questions that I think I freaked her out on was she was like, "Who's your favorite wrestler?" And I went, "Hot take. You're not going to like this. I don't think there's any good wrestlers. I don't think anybody's actually good at it. I think it's all a matter of timing and, what people are into at the moment, but I don't think anybody's actually good at it." She just kind of looked at me and I was like, "Did I freak you out, babe?" This is a 7-year-old, mind you. We had a great interview other than that, though, but
really just pulling the veil of reality back for this 7.
this poor child. And I told her at the end, I said, I was testing you because, wrestlers are hard to interview. I said, I wanted to give you a little test today. And she said, "You didn't scare me." I said, "Okay, good. At least you can feel that in your heart."
Yeah.
It was a blast. Got to see a lot of friends. That show ended and we were going to come down and watch the other show that was going on that night that we were going to watch Mans Warner get beat up by Colt Cabana and Tommy Rich. But I got back up to the room and I took a shower. I took a bath and just laid in the steam. You ever get hotel showers are hit or miss. This one, the water pressure was extreme. The tub was deep and it was hot. And I was like, I'm just going to steam myself out here. I'm just going to steam it. And I checked in with the demon and we're all good. We're all good right there. But we've got to have a discussion because we ordered Sonic, okay? Me and Allie. And nothing about this restaurant was making any sense to me in this current moment. And we had a little discussion about where my state of mind was at that point. But I'm sitting here looking at the menu and nothing is really coming together as correct or like as a concept that is collaborative and makes sense together. Because I'm ordering cheeseburgers and I'm ordering foot-long chili dogs and I'm ordering tater tots with cheese and onions. And then I'm ordering a cherry limeade for Alley Catch, and I'm looking at my cherry limeade going, I didn't even know this was an option. You can make it dirty. You know what making it dirty means? Never heard of this before. I've been eating at Sonic a long time. You add coconut cream and extra lime juice and some kind of purple liquid to make it dirty. And it was incredible. And then I'm looking going, what other restaurant can I just get a Diet Coke? And it goes, do you want to add nerds? Hey man, you're getting a Diet Coke. Do you want to just put some candy in there? Does that work for you? Do you want to turn this into an ice cream treat right now? Would you like to get an ice cream sandwich? And then I ordered French toast sticks, and it said, "Do you want syrup?" And I said, "Yeah." And then it said, "Would you like to add mustard?" And I went, "What?" And I'm sure it was just an option that's kind of on everything, but I'm sitting here going, "Who's picking mustard for the French toast sticks? I don't think that's the correct condiment for the French toast sticks to have mustard." And then let's put it all together. We had it delivered, I'll be honest, but you've got all of these things that don't make sense in concept, from popcorn chicken to it doesn't matter. They got breakfast all day. Do you think they asked the girls who are delivering the food whether they're good at roller skates or delivering food first? Which one do you think is more important? Because when you bring out my Diet Coke with nerds and my ice cream sundae and my French toast sticks with mustard and you're on roller skates, everything is out the fucking window. I don't know who came up with this restaurant. And I also don't know how I've lived my whole life in the South going to Sonic, not going, the fuck is this place? I've never had absurd thoughts about what the fuck is going on with Sonic until now, where I'm going, what the fuck is going on with Sonic? It's crazy. I'm so happy it exists. I did not feel great the next morning after the amount of Sonic I ate, but I got to tell you, that Coney dog slapped. And I sent people pictures of me kissing the Coney dog, and they were like, this is weird. I sent you the picture of me kissing the Coney dog, and you said, I've never seen you make this face before. Just slurping up that, sucking on a chili dog. I just kept singing that to Allie while I was eating the chili dog. I said, Allie, do you want to have fried jalapenos on your burger? And she's like, yeah. It's just, it kept being like, the absurd options that would come up as regular choices were making me so excited. And what a blast, what an Oreo peanut butter blast it was to have the Sonic delivered and brought directly up to the room. I tipped the man extra cash once he got up there. He was a little surprised, but I was like, listen, buddy, I can't walk down in that lobby anymore. I don't know who I'm going to see. I don't know what I'm going to get into. I need you to bring that Sonic up here. And he did. He brought the Sonic up. We had a great time. I slept a little bit. But on Easter morning, we rose again. My flight was at 5:40. And I got to tell you guys, Indiana Airport, pretty easy. Indianapolis Airport, pretty easy. I'm in line to board my flight at 5:10, and I'm checking my bag at 4:35. Okay? And the line is long, and I'm assuming all these people are on my flight. No. These people, multiples of them, were not flying out or taking off until after 7 a.m. I understand wanting to get to the airport 2 hours early. But folks, when it's the Indianapolis airport, you're flying Southwest, I'm pretty sure you're going to make it through without a problem.
Yeah.
I did risk getting arrested, though.
Uh-oh.
So I get to the pre-check line, and ahead of me, by a few people, is Mance Warner. As you know, we're having our I Quit match this week. Some people said, they're 1-1, and that's incorrect because the match in Tampa does not have a clear victor. Okay? He may have poured gasoline on me and all my friends. He may have split my skull open to get stapled. There is not a victory there for Mance Warner. He does not have a victory over Effy. The only victory he technically has is when he tossed me out of the Battle Royal when I didn't know he was even going to be there. It doesn't count. Do it in my face. I, however, do have a victory over Mance Warner. 1-0. 1-0-1 if you want to be honest about it in our singles matches. 1 win, 0 losses, and 1 undetermined because there was not a victor. Now hear me out. The I Quit match, when I win, will make me 2-0 and we'll end this. And I'm not just making Mance Warner quit the match. When he quits, he's out. He's done. This run ends. You're out of here. I'll go to Brett. I'll say, I'm the king of the castle now. I'm in charge. He's out. And it will be done. But I see him in the pre-check line. And I know I'm risking a lot if I end up on a no-fly list, okay? I know. And so I yell out. I can't help myself. I go, Mance Warner. And he turns around. And I go, go fuck yourself in front of everyone. And the TSA guys hear it. And I'm dead serious. And nobody says another word. And he flicks me off. And he goes through the line. And I don't see him anymore. But right there at 5 a.m. in the TSA pre-check line, I said, Mance Warner, go fuck yourself. And I hope someone was there to hear it, but if you weren't, too bad. But on Easter Sunday, I'm sorry if your children had to hear curse words as they were leaving the Indiana airport. Because guess what? That's what I'm about. That's what I'm doing. And that's what this whole week is building to. Because in, 3 days now? Tomorrow, Thursday, Friday? We end this. Makes me think of that All-American Reject song. When darkness turns to light, it ends tonight. It ends tonight. It ends tonight. Just a little inside. I don't know all the words, but it's just like that All-American Reject song. So thank you to all of my fans that have supported me with that. But this week will end that fight. And then I will be reborn at the Big Gay Brunch, victorious. We will celebrate. We'll have a gay time. We'll do a little poppers together if you want. Whatever. It's gay brunch. Do a little poppers. Whatever. Have a good time. And then I will take a nap before I go and win the clusterfuck at midnight. Thank you, Joey. This is, I was joking with someone. I said, 2019, I was begging Joey Janela, my idol, my hero. Pero snuck me into the first spring break. Pero snuck me into the second spring break. But from spring break 3 on, Effy has been on the show. Spring break 3, clusterfuck. Spring break 4, Indiana, doing something. I don't know. Spring break 5, me and Virgil and Greg Irons. Spring break 6, me and Minoru Suzuki. Spring break 7, Bussy versus Nick Gage and Alley Cat. Spring break 8, Effy, Mance Warner, I Quit. So I've been present for all of them. But this is the first time. This is a 2-night spring break because the clusterfuck has been set as a separate event. Punjabi prison match with the 4 tag teams and the clusterfuck with 80 people, 89 people, something, is that Saturday night at midnight. And if you would have told me in 2019 that I'd be pulling Joey aside saying, Joey, you don't need me in the clusterfuck. Joey, please. Joey, it's midnight. Joey, please just let me go home. Joey, I don't need to be a part of this. I would have said you were crazy. But here I am going, Joey, please, I don't want to be in the clusterfuck this year. I have so much going on. I'm going to finish my show at 2, and I'm going to want to go to bed. But you know what? The people demand it. The people demand to see Effy in the clusterfuck. And guess what? I'm showing up, and if I've got to be up that late, I'm winning it. I'm winning the clusterfuck. You know what you get if you win the clusterfuck? Something. I don't know. I haven't really figured it out. I really don't know what the prizes are. Maybe it's like whose line is it anyway? Like we were talking about earlier. Mm-hmm. Points are made up. Prizes don't exist. I hope to find out there is a prize because I'm ready to go. And I just want to warn everybody: if you're in the clusterfuck with me, I'm usually one of the safest people to work with, unless you're Mance Warner. But I just wouldn't get near me in that clusterfuck. I can't imagine I will be of sound mind at midnight after all of these events to actually be of proper workship. I think I'm just going to be throwing ham bones at people's faces. I think that's it. So I'm sorry if you get too close. I know everybody gets in these matches and they go, oh, Effy's in the match too. I want to have a moment with him. No, you fucking don't. No, you fucking don't. Prayers to you. But I'd stay out of my way and it's going to be great. WrestleCon, I'll wake up Sunday morning. We'll go to the Indie Hall of Fame. I'll sell the rest of these, items left over. We'll run some good deals. Me and Allie will be there. We might have a special guest with us. We're working on it. I've spent a lot of my energy telling everyone why and how I am correct. And I've spent a lot of my energy making sure that I am reducing people's stresses and worries when they are working under my wing, when they are working on my shows, when they are around me. I want things to be as easy as possible for everyone. I want them to understand my vision. I want them to know exactly what to do. But I'm shedding that weight, and I'm shedding the worry, and I am letting everyone else do a little more worrying for me. It's going to go fine. It's going to go great.
Yeah.
But I need everyone else to know that I'm not going to be the one that makes sure it always goes perfectly. If it messes up, it's not because of me. And if it messes up and you couldn't figure out what to do, well, I would have figured out what to do. So what am I saying? I've been giving instructions on what to do for years and years. And if you can't pick it up by now, I'm here having a good time. I'm celebrating with my sister. We're getting Sonic at the end of the night. We're going to eat cheeseburgers. We're going to hug. We're going to have a cameo contest during the convention. We're going to just have the most fun of our life. And you know what? If you can't pick it up by now, maybe that's a you thing, not a me thing. So I'm going to continue with joy in my heart. I'm going to answer the questions you have, but I am not taking on any other stresses other than what I'm actually accomplishing in front of me. So I hope you all can keep up. I hope you know what to do in your matches. I hope you know to send your music, and I hope you know when to be there, because I'm not really worried about if you are or not. I'm the show. I'm here to make it happen, and I'm very excited about what this week holds. How's that sound?
Love it.
Let's end this off with some questions. Do we have questions this week?
We do.
Fantastic.
First off, I just want to say go support our wonderful friends at Movie John.
Yes.
They have a beautiful issue.
They're
right
Philly-based too, right?
They are Philly-based.
See, Philadelphia Freedom
Philly's
this week,
where
baby.
it's at. they're specifically doing a nudity-based edition of their current issue, and we will be covering one of those movies. Thanks to all the wonderful work that Ben does for our Patreon and everything. So
Hell yeah.
shout out to Ben. Shout out to Movie John.
It's so much fun following each other on Instagram now. We always like each other's stories. It's beautiful. Love you, Ben. Love you, Movie John.
They are fully the reason that I said, hey, do you want to go see Bisexual King Kong next
Because they
week?
said it was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. It was so much fun. I love when a movie is that much fun. Listen to the minisode. Sign up for the Patreon, weekendateffys.com. That's how you're able to ask us questions. That's how you're able to get the minisodes, the Movie John episodes, the astrology forecasts, which was a long one this month, from what I hear.
A full hour.
I have another vlog going up tonight or tomorrow, so that's good. And then we'll have a Philly vlog, and I'm keeping up with the Kardashians on that.
If you wanted to know what Lucy looked like when she was a wee little puppy,
It's her gotcha month.
all of her gotcha photos
Oh
are
my
now
gosh.
up, and I wrote a little story and had a little teary moment to myself. Just appreciation for dogs and the fact that they exist.
We
and-
love the dogs. And to all of you who asked why Petár is not at more events, I told you yesterday selfishly, I go, because then who would watch these dogs? And I felt a little bad about that, but honestly, thank you, Petár, for keeping our babies so safe while I'm out here saving the world.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and start with a little bit more of a serious one.
I love it.
So I think this is something that, you know, if we need to take a little bit more time just to really like think and consider over it. What is the difference between a chickpea and a garbanzo bean? I've never had a garbanzo bean on my face.
Oh, God. Get out of here. You had me sitting here getting real deep in thought, ready for anything. Oh,
Thank
my mom
you,
used to
Heather.
call them.
I'm figuring out more ways to make these
I know,
a
you're
surprise.
My mom used to call them Heine beans.
Heine beans?
Yeah, we're going to have Heine beans with dinner because they look like little Heinies.
Yeah.
Heine beans.
Okay, this is from Danny. Since you're on the road to Mania Week, what is your take on the Philly cheesesteak sandwich?
Oh, this is good. All right, hot take. I don't like whiz.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not a whiz guy.
Yeah.
I want a provolone or a white cheddar. I want onions. I want peppers. I want a lot of meat, and I want it wetter than you think. Like, I don't want a real crusty bread. I want a soft, soaked bread. As far as actual places, I don't know. But I will say this. The best Philly cheesesteak I ever had was a morning Philly cheesesteak while I was waiting to go to the airport with Jimmy Lloyd, or we went and got a breakfast cheesesteak. They did the cheesesteak with an egg omelet on it, and we sat outside and ate it together while this man yelled at us about how much scars we had on our body. You guys got scars all over your body. You guys are freaks. Stop getting in fights. Just screamed at us while we ate Philly cheesesteaks and tried to ignore him. It was incredible.
I'm a big fan of our local cheesesteak spot, Johnny's, because they actually do import the bread in and everything.
Do they?
Yeah.
Huh.
It's like as close as you can get.
I also really like the Fred's Meat and Cheese.
I know. I haven't had theirs. I need to.
It's
I need
good
to
too.
Do that.
They're all good.
Are they? Is that an actual restaurant or is that a ghost kitchen?
It's. I mean, it's in the food hall.
Oh,
But it's
okay,
its own.
okay,
It's
okay.
not a ghost kitchen.
Okay,
It's its own
okay.
stand, but it is in the food hall.
My paranoia with ghost kitchens is.
Oh, I know. I listened to a whole episode of Stuff They Don't Want You to Know.
Yeah.
About ghost kitchens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a great YouTube doc that really just kind of like. Ugh.
I can tell now what's a ghost kitchen.
Yeah.
You can sense it.
Yeah. Okay, this is from Julie. Okay, I actually have a serious question. When you guys first came out, did you already have a queer support structure or did you have to find your tribe? I have a long distance friendship with a dude that has like 1 foot out of the closet, but I don't really know how to advise him on meeting other gays in his specific city. I was lucky enough to already have a sizable queer friend circle when I came out, so I never really had to start from scratch. Any tips or advice I could pass along?
Enter more queer spaces. I think before I came out, I think I was already setting up to be surrounded by queer people. One of my best friends in high school was one of the first out gay men I ever knew. And so I already had these people around me, and especially into college, I'm mostly hanging out with people who, if they're not queer, no one cares. And there's just sort of like, we're all inspiring each other to be weirder and weirder. And I think it was like a conscious decision to make sure I was already around people who would love whoever was there, no matter what. We were the kind of friends where you're like, oh, is he here in a dress? He looks great. Like, lovely.
Right.
It was just like, there wasn't any questioning, there wasn't anything. I think with my parents, though, and this is, people are like, you're bullshitting, but, they had a little trouble with it at first. And then I sort of, like, I got on my ego high horse, and I was sort of like, hey, I'm the coolest person you know. And if you want to hang out with me, you got to be cool with this. Otherwise, like, you're not going to see me a lot. And they're like, what? And I was like, yeah, see ya. And they're like, no, it's cool. It's cool. And I was like, yeah, I know. It's great. And then we're great now. So I just say enter more queer spaces. Go out on your own. You're only lonely the first time you go somewhere. And if people are nice to you, they're not the right people. But a lot of times I think if you enter, whether it's going to, and I'm not even saying just like nightclubs, but like, go to art exhibits, go to weird stuff, go to weird vegan restaurants, places where you would find more queer people, and just say like, I don't know anyone. I think that you'll find that, most people are more than willing to make a new friend. And you're not going to find queer people unless you're sort of seeking out the spaces that they feel safe in.
Right. And it's, it's the thing that's difficult about making new friends when you're an adult, where you really do have to do the dorky thing of, hey, I want to be friends with you.
Yeah.
Like, you have to put yourself I mean, that has been the thing that has worked for me, is where it's like, I will have, because I've had like recent new people in my life where it's like, oh my God, I feel like I've known you for a gazillion years, where you are almost like, it's like you're not asking them out on a date, but you are saying, hey, I'm going to be vulnerable for a second and say, I really appreciate you as a human being, and I would like to spend more time with you. And they go, oh my God, me too. And it really is just as simple as like, I'm going to put myself out there.
Yeah. And I think it's also understanding that, like, even if you do find these friendships, especially as adults, you may not have all of their time. It may be something where you don't see each other as much as you want, but you still need people you can reasonably communicate with.
Yeah.
I have friends I haven't seen in years where we're still texting, we're still talking, we're still checking in on each other. And, you may not have their in-person time all the time, but you need to have at least people where you can go like, hey, this is something that's not fun, or something I can share with you, or someone, people that you can at least reach out to, because keeping stuff in your head is the worst place for it to stay. So, finding people where you may not be spending all that much time together, but the time you do spend, you enjoy. And if you have stuff going on, there's people that you can speak to and talk to that are of similar minds, Yeah,
we like the the feeling that you get where you spend time with someone and you go, my cup is filled. Like,
yes.
I feel energetically restored after spending time, instead of like, oh, that person was a real drain.
Yeah.
It's,
or having to pretend to be something you're not with these people to make it work. You'll feel that immediately.
It's like, we don't always get that all the time, but to have someone where you go, I know the next time that we hang out together, we will both leave with our cups filled.
Yes. I also, this is just me speaking, a little selfishly. I love having queer friends that really don't care about wrestling. Like, that have been wonderful friends to me for a long time, where they'll be like, oh yeah, like, you're busy right now, whatever. And then I come and they're like, how's everything? And you're like, it's good. And they like don't care that I met Sting, and they don't get, they're just like, oh, awesome. All right, well, let's hang out. I've been doing this. Like, that's cool. Like, having people that sort of like aren't that interested in that part of you, it sounds like you're, oh, like, don't worry about Batman, just be friends with Bruce Wayne. But it's like, there's something really lovely about, they like you for you. And that's like, oh yeah, you have a job. And especially I think more with queer friends, it's like, yeah, we all have weird jobs. Like, it's fine. Like, we're just hanging out right now though.
Yeah.
They're not like, well, and can I get tickets to this? And you're like, okay, what do we do?
Well, it's like, you live the thing, how you have chosen to interact with reality is inherently bizarre, and there's side effects to the way that you've chosen to do these things.
What a way to put it.
Just you need the ability to just go, I'm human. I'm not this deity running around.
I'm regular Taylor today.
The legend can stop being told for the amount of time that I'm in this space here. And it's really good because, like, the bard needs to put his guitar down and just be like a
or you're
human
hanging
being.
out with another wrestler who's famous, and you go, "What if we just went river tubing and weren't that at all?"
Yeah, yeah.
What if we were just regular people for a second?
What if we went
and had fun?
bowling?
Yeah, what if we went bowling? It'd be incredible. Oh, yeah, I love it. Find them. Find people who enjoy you for you, and you don't have to do any sort of jazzing up of your self and personality.
No.
Sometimes we just like to sit here and watch Rob Lowe game shows.
Yeah.
And it's just as exciting as anything else.
Again, it's, the I don't need waterfalls to fill my cup up. Sometimes I legitimately just need Rob Lowe game show.
Like, I like that we work so well together, but I'm so glad we're not always working.
It is very nice that the quality time with someone where you go, we're not fucking doing anything,
Right.
and there's no pressure to do anything, and I'm not propping up my personality like I am all the time,
Getting to go to the movies with you and Luis yesterday, and like, you're both very aware of Effy, but I didn't have to at all reference anything Effy.
Yeah.
It's so refreshing.
We giggle a tiny bit harder when there's a wrestling move happening in the movie.
When Godzilla does a suplex.
That's it. We're at the fucking movies.
We're at the movies. I got free raisins yesterday. I loved it. So what does this mean? She goes, free raisins. I said, let me have them. He is raisin.
But see, the grand theory that I have on life is that those are going to be the moments that we look back on with the ultimate fondness. I heard someone once say, going to Burning Man is fun. You have the earthly delights of every possibility of being a human being, but the thing that you ultimately remember is you hanging out in the RV or in the tent with your friends just bullshitting.
Yes. Speaking of RVs, I think Manders is bringing the RV up to Philly, and I think that's our private dressing room now.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Okay, this is from Leah. How do you relax and decompress from being so busy constantly? What is your favorite city / slate to visit, and why? And what is the go-to movie that you recommend to others?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Honestly, the last time I was in Seattle, I loved Seattle more than I typically do, and I would love to go back. And I think the weather was great, and we got time to be tourists. I also I really want to go back to is the Alamo in San Antonio? Is that? Hey Siri, is the Alamo in San Antonio? Yeah. So I want to go back to San Antonio. It was such a beautiful city. And the last time I was there, it was kind of spoiled because I went with someone who was a piece of shit, and I didn't know at the time that they were a piece of shit. So I had this beautiful, wonderful day of like touristy awesomeness in San Antonio. The weather was perfect. The food was so good. We saw the Alamo, and then it was like, also they're a piece of shit. So it's like tainted my vision of that. So I want to go back. I loved Austin. I love Chicago, but Chicago is, I played Fuck, Marry, Kill on an interview, and I picked Fuck Chicago because March to October, Chicago's the most beautiful, perfect city in the world. Mm-hmm. And then November to February, it is the most nightmare frozen place. And so it's like, you can't marry Chicago because it will kill you in the winter. But just being in Chicago, the museums, the art, the people, the walk around, it's such a magical, beautiful, wonderful place. It's like if New York City finally smoked a fucking joint. Yeah. Chill out. Yeah. It's clean. It's beautiful. Yeah. Everybody's a little kinder. It's Midwest. You still get the beauty of the lake.
Chicago is the first place I ever saw snow. And the story was my parents bundled me up, put me outside, introduced me to the snow. I sat down and went completely catatonic.
I believe it.
They spent the rest African of the day trying to get me talking again.
Are you okay? You're like, what is this? What have you done? Good for you, though. I'm glad you finally got it out of your system.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would imagine the little Kenyan child is not doing well in Chicago snow. But yeah, Chicago has, and I'm speaking about Texas, and I'm saying this at the same time, Chicago has some of the best Mexican food in the world. Just tamale carts and little Mexican restaurants, and the specialty items that you don't always get everywhere else. It's like purely not Americanized Mexican food, but just Mexican food.
Yeah.
It is so lovely to eat Mexican food in Chicago. I love it.
Okay, what go-to rant. So stranger says, you like movies.
Yeah.
What do you hit him with?
This is hard. This is
And
like,
let's say it's someone that hasn't really seen a lot of movies.
okay. Have you ever seen Air Bud? It's incredible.
Yeah.
The dog plays basketball.
Uh-huh.
The kid's not good at basketball, but the
Uh-huh.
dog is. People are trying to stop the dog from participating in the team. It's a journey of, if somebody's good at something and you really stop them from being a part of it just because of your closed-mindedness, are you really scared to play with a dog? And I think it's a bigger mind opener for everything else. I haven't seen it in a few years, but maybe we should watch Air Bud. I think I suggest Air Bud.
Okay.
What about you?
I don't know. Air Bud is a pretty good one. I'm going to do something similar and say Babe 2 Pig in the City.
From the mind of George Miller?
From the mind of George Miller.
I wish they would have put that in the Furiosa trailer where it was like,
From
the mind of George Miller, creator of Babe 2 Pig in the City. One of the best James Cromwell films. I can't believe I'm in the city. I'm James Cromwell.
He doesn't make it to the city.
Does he not?
No, they
I
fucking...
thought he went to the city.
No. He
dies.
He dies.
Oh.
I don't think he's actually... I think he comes back later on and they're like, ooh, he's not dead, but it's pretty obvious, like, Farmer is dead within the first 5 minutes.
Okay, I do remember this.
Because I think the whole thing is she's going to, like, lose the farm, and I don't... the plot of that movie...
Did you ever see Hotel for Dogs?
I didn't.
I often mix up Babe 2 Pig in the City and Hotel for Dogs.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Dunstan Checks In?
Yes.
Okay, I love that movie.
Yes.
Love it.
Love it.
Was Donald Trump in that one?
He was in Home Alone 2.
Oh, it's the same movie.
But he probably, did
I think I'm
Dunstan check
mixing
into
up
Trump
orangutans.
Towers?
Yeah, Dunstan Checks In, also a great movie. Hey Siri, did Air Bud get a theatrical release?
Okay, I found this on the web for Did Plug.
Hey Siri, did Air Bud get a theatrical release? All birds, get out of here. I don't know. I don't even know if they put it in theaters, if this was just direct to DVD, direct to VHS. We don't know.
We have one more question.
Okay, let's go.
One more question. All right, this is from Nick Carp.
Carp! Incredible.
Hello, gentlemen. Petár, I used to be an assistant for my dad who was a wedding photographer.
Oh, no.
What is the wildest thing that you've seen at a wedding? In my short time, I have a few insane ones. Yes, it is. One of the most wonderful things about shooting weddings is as you're on the way to the venue, you go, I don't know if this is going to be a normal day or I'm literally going to be battling demons the entire time. When I was shooting weddings on my own, I regularly would pull the car over about 5 minutes from the venue and just projectile vomit.
No. What?
Effy, excited to see you. I know it's going to be a busy week for everyone. We will power through, baby.
We will, and I'm so excited. I was talking to Carp the other day. We're going to try to pull off one of the greatest things in history Wednesday night. Okay. I'm not getting into it. I discussed it a little bit with you. I will be fighting Marcus Mathers at the Intergender Bonanza Cream Mania, but I am going to try to pull a trick off with Marcus Mathers that is what I want to do really is enjoy myself all week, but I also want to set the precedent Wednesday night because Mania Week's already started. There's already shows going on.
Right.
But I feel like the Wednesday night setting of the precedent of this shit is going to be insane all week. I feel like we have this opportunity, thanks to Nick Carp, to do this. And I think it's going to be one of the craziest crossover insano nights of a lifetime.
Interesting. Okay.
And I'm so excited to see if we can pull this off.
Interesting.
By the time this comes out to the regular public, we will have pulled this off.
Okay. Okay.
We may make a decision here and just drop this one a little early. Give it to the Patreon people early, but maybe drop this one on a Thursday and just let them know.
Okay.
I don't know. Let's feel it out.
Yeah.
We'll see where we get.
Yeah.
A lot of this information seems pertinent to the week, and it seems like if what I said was not true, it could be poorly reflected on if it comes out too late. But I don't know. I want to help our Patreon people, but the world needs to know what's happening.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Also, the new book between Orange Crush
Yes,
and
it looks
Nick Carp,
gorgeous.
the Visitors book, It is incredibly gorgeous. It is documenting the GCW tour to Japan that happened last October. There are so many cool pictures of all of the GCW superstars, not just me, but there are so many pictures of me smoking cigarettes. What did you do in Japan? I just smoked cigarettes. But what got me really excited is like seeing these really cool moments between like me and Jordan Oliver and me and Allie and me and Jimmy Lloyd and me and Masha Slamovich, like us just being there together and hanging out and being cool. Like there's one at the after party at dinner where it's like me and Joey and Jimmy are just smoking cigs together, eating meat. And it's these little moments of friendship that are not in the wrestling ring, that are not at the shows, that are like, they're the most important to reflect back on of like, we were all together, we were having fun, we were the crew.
There's also just being the absolute cunt of a human being that being in the photography and advertising world has made me. There is a certain level of quality that I look for things where it's this threshold that you have to hit in order for whatever horrible part of my brain that won't allow me to take something seriously.
Yeah.
And forgive me, there's a lot of stuff in wrestling where I am internally rolling my eyes a little bit and wondering like y'all could be doing slightly better on this front a little bit. But the bits of what you've shown me from the book, like the more private stuff, and then the other thing that I've seen online, there is this mark of craftsmanship across the board with the publishing of the book, the actual level of quality on the photographs, in the innate visual sense of the person taking all of these photos, to where I go, yes,
they get it.
You got it.
Well, two things.
Fully got it.
One, it helps that it's actually really fun to hang out with.
Not that
Nick
my
Carp.
opinion matters or anything like that, but just
it's good to hear from an outside
perspective. Someone that has worked in visual craftsmanship.
I'll tell you
well
this.
Done.
Nick Carp gets great photos because they're talented, but Nick Carp also gets great photos because they are actually fun to hang out with.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't feel like, we've got to bring the photographer along. Like it's just one of my friends who's hanging out, who wants to do the same stuff as us. And you get more exciting, intimate, real moments when you're hanging out with people you actually want to be around. And that makes it lovely. But also they are doing a full gallery exhibit from the 28th, I believe, to May 5th in New York City. That I will be there for the opening on the 28th with a few people. I'm very excited to get to see it. They're going to have a lot of the pictures blown up in there, have the book available, and we're going to be doing a talk that day with the Orange Crush crew.
That rolls.
I'm very excited. And it's lovely to be a part of wrestling stuff where it's like, yes, I'm a wrestler, but I'm here talking about like not wrestling.
Yeah. That it is funny that you mentioned just the insider aspect of things. There's this great documentary, American Hardcore, that's about the 80s and early 90s punk movement. And they interviewed this guy, Glenn Friedman, who he did all the Run the DMC photos. He did all of the Beastie Boy photos. He did every single Black Flag cover, images that you associate as these are these images of those people.
The defining
defining
band.
images. He took every single one of them. And there's an interview with him where he was talking about how he was doing a bunch of stuff with Black Flag when he was still in school for all of this stuff. And his teacher was looking through his photographs and goes, "You're best friends with all these people, aren't you?" And he's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "I can tell from your photographs you're not an outsider. The only way you would be able to get this stuff
if you're really
is because you're really in with all of these people." And that makes the biggest, photographers want to do this thing where they hang back and they pull back and they're not really participating.
Right.
You are a much better photographer when you remove your objectivity from it and you participate within the thing that you're documenting.
Yeah, he's definitely an insider. And someone, because I was already messaging him this week, when are you in Philly? We're hanging out. How are we meeting up?
So cool. I fucking
not
love
let's
it.
get
I
photos.
love it.
I just want to see my boy.
I don't see all the wedding. If I'm really giving you the tea on the wedding story, I don't know how fun it is because it is just human beings at some of their worst behavior of all fucking time. Do we want to talk about the bride that outed her husband as a virgin in front of everyone at the wedding?
Isn't that something you hope for with your wedding? Don't you want to have your wife be your first cum shot?
They
Sorry.
So within the wedding industry and everything, there's shit down to where, is the ceremony the first time that you see the bride as they're coming down the aisle. If we're talking specific, like, it is so funny how when you get over to all the queer weddings that I shot, they go, none of these rules fucking matter. We're doing exactly what it is that we want. And you go, oh, we're about to have a great day then.
Yeah, we don't have to play by all these weird little...
Instead of, because it would come down to, okay, my job can be easy because y'all break tradition and you decide to see each other before the wedding, which means that we have basically 2 hours of portrait time to where you get every photo you want with every single person that you want, and we can do a dedicated portrait session where you walk away with really beautiful images of the person that you are marrying, which is the whole point of you being here. Or we can go the traditional way and I have 5 minutes.
Yeah, 5 minutes after the ceremony, we have to rush to the reception, and like everybody's frazzled.
You know who gets to sacrifice their photos? The two people getting married. I will get you maybe one portrait, and we are fucking done, because people are going to be yelling and screaming at us to get over to the party because none of this makes any fucking sense whatsoever. So with this couple, one of the options that we would do is we would go, okay, we will have a moment. We'll do a first look where it's the two of you seeing each other for the first time. And, it'll be this great moment. And then we can go ahead and get all the photos and everything. So they decide to have their first look. And the scheduling of it was so bad that we lost the advantage of doing this to where it was you're doing this and then we're doing the ceremony immediately after. So no one was saving time. None of this made any logistical sense whatsoever. Well, they're doing the first look thing and like we're filming the whole thing. I'm taking photos. She starts talking about all the times that she's cheated on him while they've been together.
What?
And I'm going, we shouldn't be here for this. It is
Why would that be the thing you discuss?
That we're here for this right now, to where like this is obviously a part of y'all's story, which it sucks that it's a part of you. So it just gets ickier and ickier and ickier. And the whole thing ends up with her getting too drunk and making out with all of her bridesmaids at the wedding. I know about this because she was like, come take photos of us making out. And I go,
you don't want this.
You don't want this. You don't want this. Like down to like her mom flashed the camera and was like, no, you need to take the photo. And I took the photo and then deleted immediately after, just trying to do as much of the hangover on this one's going to be rough.
The annulment, you mean?
Yeah. They get to the end of the wedding and here was the thing that was really tragic. So it was like 20 bridal party members on either side, which is just like, who actually has that many friends? Yeah,
Go
this is ridiculous.
The fuck down.
Well, he made all of his groomsmen do one of the most well choreographed song and dance routines during the reception that I've ever seen anyone do in all the years of shooting weddings, to where it was like, you made your boys work to get this this was well thought out, well put together. You spent money on this thing. Like,
y'all went to lessons.
Exactly. And a lot of lessons. And so it was just like, this is getting sadder and sadder and sadder as we're going on. And so we get to the end of the night and I have to go in and tell them, okay, this is how we're doing the exit. I'm going to coach you through. You're going to run through here. Sparklers are going to be going off. Everything is fine. Bless you. I walk into where they are and she is in the middle of saying, well, I want to go out to the club tonight, so I don't know about going back to the hotel. Like, I know you want to fuck because you're a virgin and everything, but like, I want to go out with all my girls tonight. And I am opening the door as this conversation is going on. She sees me, registers that I have heard this now, and then proceeds to tell, okay, well, it's fine that he's a virgin, and just like going on and on and on. And I'm like, all right, well, I got about 10 minutes before I'm driving home from this thing. Like, we just got to get through this. And so I go, okay, whatever. Here's what we're doing. Let's, get this going. And God. I guess she just thinks Kat is fully out of the bag at this point. So they get out, they do the sparkler exit, kind of fuck it up, whatever. We get the photos. It's fine. She's in the limo. she pops out and announces to everyone else that's there, we're going out. He's a virgin and wants to go back to the hotel, but I want to go out tonight, so we're going to the club. And then they drive off, and that is the end of the wedding.
I think it's the end of the marriage.
I think it's the end of the marriage, too.
Do you ever get follow-ups? By the time you get the pictures to them, and they're like, send them to her because I don't need them.
No, the only for sure divorce that I know was when this was a pandemic wedding where the groom, they were both a little bit on the heavier side. He dropped about 80 pounds. She gained about 80 pounds.
Well, yeah. Somebody's got to find it.
So, and the showing up on the wedding day and going, hey, what's going on, man? Thinking this is a groomsman. And he's like, hey, nice to see you again. Because we did.
Because he looks so different.
We did the engagement photos and everything. And I was like, whoo, this is not going to go well.
Things have shifted.
Well, the bride got into a fist fight with her mother-in-law, and they ended the marriage 2 hours after the ceremony that night at the wedding.
Why waste time? Why waste time?
I know.
Just make it happen.
Yeah.
Let's get out of there.
The pandemic ones, those were rough weddings.
Pandy wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe just get it done at the courthouse and do a ceremony after the pandemic. You crazies.
And don't spend $30,000 on one day of your life. That's insane. Why would you do that?
Yeah, you could. I'm not. Clearly.
It's all icky. See, though, it's fun for the drama, and then you go, oh yeah, this is someone's life, and this is fucking horrible that that's the way that their wedding went down.
Yeah, I'm glad it's been postponed as a part of my life. It's fine. There's no bad blood there. It's just like we're both like, nah, I'm not doing all that right now. We're good. We have health insurance. We're domestic. It's great. What a move.
You do have to ask the question, what is the point of doing this? And if it's to make other people happy, then maybe you should figure out a way that honors what you have going on in a way that makes you happy.
Maybe make yourself happy. Maybe it's your wedding, not theirs.
Exactly.
Oh, boy. Well, what a time.
What a time.
Let's end it there.
Let's end it there.
Oh.